Our movie is about a death game for people drowning in debt with a prize so huge it's enough to make them forget any fear. On the table, there are 8 glasses of water, but only one contains a concentrated and deadly sulfuric acid. Their mission is to pick any glass purely by luck and drink it. Even though they don't know who the lucky one will be, the prize is in the billions, which makes these debt-ridden people race for a chance to win. The atmosphere starts heating up quickly. Tadayasu feels that his luck won't save him, so he offers Komaki to swap glasses with her. Since this doesn't break any rules, Eiji wants to swap too. By coincidence, Zenia, who is sitting in the corner, has the exact same idea, so the others copy them and swap as well. After they finish swapping, the host, Tatsunaki, announces the official start of the game. He states that anyone who leaves any water in their glass will be disqualified from sharing the prize, so everyone chugs their entire glass in one breath. Now, all they can do is wait for 2 minutes of pure terror until signs of pain appear on the unlucky person. It turns out to be Eiji, who just a moment ago was copying the others. Eiji dies while staring with pure hatred at Zenia, because if Zenia hadn't insisted on swapping a second time, this tragic end wouldn't have happened. Nevertheless, despite the terror in everyone's eyes, the moment Tatsunaki announces the prize results after Eiji's death, and they realize they won, they burst into hysterical laughter because this means each of them will get tens of millions. But the laughter stops quickly. It turns out this poison was just the first level of the game, and in every level after this, the deaths will get even more brutal. The game has absolutely nothing to do with intelligence, it is purely luck. Eriko decides to withdraw because her winnings from this first round are enough to pay off her debts and then some. Tatsunaki informs everyone that the prize for each level is 100 million yen per round, and the fewer the survivors, the bigger the prize for the remaining players. The fact that the money of those who die gets distributed among the survivors makes Eriko, who was about to leave, change her mind and return. She claims that money isn't important and that she just wants the thrill. It's clear now that she has revealed her true colors. A new round begins with a new shock. While everyone is asking about the pillows they were given, Tatsunaki hands each person a package. When they open them, they are all shocked with terror to find guns inside. This is the Russian roulette round. The rules are simple. Every gun has only one bullet. Spin the cylinder, close it, aim at your own head, and all players will pull the trigger at the exact same moment. Whoever dies is out. As for the pillows, they are meant to keep the blood from making a mess of the place. Just as the game is about to begin, Komaki suddenly suggests swapping weapons. Zenia barely stands up before Tadayasu stops him because Tadayasu also wants to swap guns with Komaki. In the end, Komaki chooses Tadayasu. Seeing Zenia depressed, Ina offers to swap weapons with him instead. After everyone finishes swapping, each of them places a pillow and aims the gun at their head. The first round passes safely without any incidents, and since nobody dies, the game continues. The second round also passes peacefully with no gunshots. At this point, some of them start to feel terrified while the others are excited. Zenia tries to walk away, but Tatsunaki stops him, telling him there is no withdrawing anymore, and the next round begins quickly. Suddenly, poor Aina collapses, the very same Aina who swapped her gun with Zenia. Anyway, nobody mourns her. On the contrary, the remaining players laugh hysterically because each of them just won an extra 17 million yen. A new and more brutal level arrives. Now, there are 6 players and 6 tanks. Everyone must jump into a tank, and as soon as the game starts, the lids will lock shut. Those who cannot hold their breath can open the lid to breathe, but whoever holds their breath the longest gets an extra 10 million yen. Since this is a game of life or death, it is obviously not that simple. The trick here is that one tank's lid is impossible to open once it closes, and whoever is inside will drown. They say dying by suffocation is the most brutal way to go. Komaki panics immediately, so the enthusiastic Eriko chooses first. Curiously, she leaves the tank she considers the safest for Komaki and even gives her a good luck charm, while she jumps into a random tank. The clever Tadayasu wants to trick Tatsunaki to find out the secret, so he asks him, "If you were the one choosing, which tank would you pick?" Tatsunaki replies that he always chooses the spot closest to the door. Tadayasu catches the hint and dashes to the tank closest to him. After Taichi and Yoko make their choices, Zenia is left with no option but the fourth tank, so he jumps in while shivering. The floor locks and the countdown begins. Everyone struggles to win the 10 million yen. Tadayasu gives up first, opens the lid, and turns out to be lucky. After him comes Eriko, then Taichi and Komaki. Only Yoko and Zenia are left. In this critical moment, both try to get out. Yoko survives, but poor Zenia faces a tragic fate and drowns right in front of everyone's eyes. There is no sympathy at all. On the contrary, they laugh from the bottom of their hearts because they survived, and the money reaches 24 million yen for each person, with Yoko taking an extra 10 million. By now, these players have completely lost their minds and no longer care about the dangers of the game. Suddenly, a new player named Tomoya joins them, and he has already won the game 3 times before. The players object, but Tomoya pays a 100 million yen entry fee and doubles the prize, so everyone shuts up and agrees. Shortly after, the game officially begins. In the middle of the room, there are 6 chairs, one of which is electrified. Pressing the switch sends a massive 10,000 volt electric shock that kills the person sitting on that chair instantly. When it comes time to choose the chairs, the clever Tadayasu tries to be smart again, saying that the newcomer, Tomoya, should choose first. Tomoya argues that as the new guy, the veterans should choose first. Unexpectedly, the players unite against him and insist that Tomoya starts first. Their reason is simple. Since Tomoya has played this game before, they want to see which chair he will pick. Hearing this, Tomoya doesn't hesitate. He picks a random chair and sits down. As soon as Tomoya sits, the others play rock, paper, scissors, and the winner immediately swaps chairs with him. Tomoya smiles and lets him have the chair, because Tomoya knows this game relies purely on luck and requires no intelligence at all, so he chooses another chair at random. After everyone selects their chairs, Tatsunaki orders them to take off their shoes and socks to stand barefoot on metal plates. The countdown begins, and another person among them dies. This round involves 5 types of mushrooms, one of which is deadly. The bizarre rule is that you choose the mushroom for someone else, and whoever receives a plate must eat all of it. They arrange their turns using playing cards. Yoko draws the king and wins the right to choose first. Wanting to guarantee her own safety, she selects the mushroom that looks poisonous and places it in front of Tadayasu, whom she hates. Tadayasu chooses the smallest mushroom and places it in front of Taichi. Taichi, being kind-hearted, chooses the least poisonous mushroom for Yoko. Now, only Komaki and Eriko are left, and they must choose for each other. Eriko surprises Komaki by asking her about the poisonous mushroom, claiming she considers her like a sister and doesn't want to sacrifice her. Poor Komaki believes her and cries out of pure emotion. After focusing, she tells her that the yellow mushroom is the poisonous one. The moment she finishes speaking, Eriko places the plate of yellow poisonous mushrooms right in front of Komaki. Everyone is deceived, and everyone starts eating their mushrooms. Everyone feels sorry for Komaki, and Yoko paints her nails so she can die looking pretty. But suddenly, Eriko starts choking and collapsing in pain. Eriko, who thought she was the smart one, discovers she is the one who turned out to be the fool, and she dies in despair. Komaki, who miraculously survives, bursts into laughter, and her laugh terrifies everyone at the sheer malice of this girl. This round is the most terrifying one yet. Up above, there are 4 windows, with a guillotine installed over only one of them, and the loser will be executed by decapitation. Taichi wets himself out of pure terror. Everyone sticks their heads out of the windows, terrified but greedy for the massive prize. When the game ends, everyone remains frozen. After a moment, Taichi collapses, and Yoko collapses right after him. Oshima, the new guy brought in to replace the missing Tadayasu, remains standing, laughs, and says this is the exact thrill he was looking for. This means the unfortunate soul who got decapitated was Tadayasu. Yoko wins over 200 million yen, which is enough to pay off her debts and retire. Tatsunaki advises her to leave, but she refuses. Similarly, Taichi, the gambler, once he wins, just wants to keep playing and winning. The situation reaches absolute madness. The 7th round begins with 3 players. Each will choose a chair and fasten their seatbelt. Tatsunaki will spin a mechanical bow and arrow manually. If it doesn't hit anyone, the game repeats. This bow is so powerful it targets the heart directly. Taichi sits down quickly and fastens his belt. Oshima hesitates and chooses the chair with its back to the bow, and Yoko sits next to him. The wheel starts spinning, and hearts are about to leap out of chests. As the wheel slows down, the terror escalates. The arrow hits the chair Oshima was sitting in first, but luckily for him, he had swapped. In the second turn, Oshima makes a clever move and sits in the exact spot of the chair that was just hit, because it is impossible to be hit twice. After the round, Taichi and Yoko decide to withdraw since their money is enough, but the big shock comes when Tatsunaki tells them that whoever reaches the final cannot withdraw. If anyone withdraws, the entire prize will be confiscated. They protest that this is cheating, but Tatsunaki states that the right to interpret the final belongs solely to the house. They are left with only two choices, either leave with no money and die of debt, or keep playing. Yoko chooses to continue and calls out to Taichi to convince him. The next day is the final showdown. 2 players and 8 ropes. One of these ropes holds a massive iron ball. If you cut the wrong rope, you fall from the top of the building. The order is random, and nobody knows the secret. Everything relies on luck. Yoko wins at rock, paper, scissors and goes first. After a long hesitation, she picks a random rope and survives. Then it is Taichi's turn, and the situation becomes increasingly dangerous. At the critical moment, Taichi quickly grabs Yoko. The relationship doesn't last because of the game, and here Yoko reveals her secret. Tatsunaki, the host, is actually her father, but even this doesn't change her fate in the end. Taichi can't take it anymore and blames Tatsunaki for letting his daughter participate, but Tatsunaki says this was her choice, announcing the result with a choked up voice. Taichi is the winner and takes home 780 million yen. But how will Taichi collect all this cash? Tatsunaki suggests consulting the president to issue him a check. Taichi smiles a strange smile, and here the real boss appears. Guys, the president turns out to be Zenia. Didn't Zenia drown in the 3rd round? Zenia was a doctor drowning in debt, but before committing suicide, he decided that if he wasn't afraid of death, he shouldn't be afraid of life. He made billions and then spent his fortune on researching human luck. He discovered the secret, took the risk, and participated in the games himself. The poison glass and the Russian roulette were real, but the computer had analyzed that he would survive. However, before the 3rd round, the computer showed him that his luck was rock bottom, which is why he hid an oxygen tank and saved himself from drowning. Zenia offers Taichi and Tatsunaki a final round for 10 billion yen. Tatsunaki agrees in order to save his charity, which he opened to make amends for his wife who committed suicide due to debt. Zenia injects both of them with 2 lethal doses of poison, and in front of them are 5 bottles of antidote. To survive, they need to win 3 bottles of antidote, and one of them must die. They start playing rock, paper, scissors, and Tatsunaki wins first. Taichi gets annoyed at why Zenia doesn't just reveal the secret since he knows it. Zenia explains that this is so the research results don't change, just like how the computer predicted Tadayasu would die in a later round, but Komaki killed him instead, which ruined the game's blueprint. In the 2nd round, Taichi wins. In the 3rd, Tatsunaki wins. And in the 4th, Taichi wins. The tie continues, and in the height of tension, Taichi says he wants to eat an omelet. Here, Tatsunaki reveals the secret. The food arranged by Zenia, like the natto and instant noodles, helped stimulate adrenaline, which is why nobody could withdraw after winning money. In the end, Taichi wins. Zenia opens the black envelope and finds Tatsunaki's name written inside. The computer analysis was correct, and Zenia truly uncovered the secret of luck. Taichi takes the 10 billion yen check and leaves, but Zenia makes one last move. Noticing his luck has spiked upward, he calls out to Taichi and offers him one final round where he either wins it all or takes the prize again. Zenia was certain he would win, but he loses. All his research flips upside down in a second. Zenia goes back to review the data and finds his luck dropping at a terrifying speed. Guys, it turns out all this luck research was just completely useless. After winning all this money and going through all these situations, Taichi becomes a bit psychologically unstable. This movie shows us how much gambling makes a person greedy, always wanting to win again and again without realizing that they might lose their life in the end. And that's where the movie ends. Don't forget, if you like the movie, support me with a like and subscribe.